often when we write, we use filler words. Now, filler words are words that are added to the document that make it heavier, slow down the reading. Sometimes readers don't notice it, sometimes they do, and it can just add redundancy and extra weight to a manuscript that isn't needed. There are sometimes single words that you might add in that aren't needed. Common ones are the words that, of, about, just, believe, or belief. These are all words that are used quite a bit, and they all don't just get deleted out, but they can often be stripped out of a sentence. There are often phrases that you don't need in a sentence. I still do these in my manuscripts. My editor, they are amazing at finding these. I will say, Donovan thought they heard a sound. Well, we are in Donovan's point of view. Of course, this is what they're thinking. Donovan heard a sound. I didn't need thought that they in the sentence. Those are all filler words. They are all things that are not needed in that sentence. Now, if you read Donovan thought that they heard a sound, you probably wouldn't think about it, but Donovan heard a sound is much more actiony, is much more exciting, and the filler words just slowed it down, made it stickier. It's not as good of a sentence. So the second sentence, Donovan heard a sound, is just stronger writing. So the filler words don't mean it's wrong, it just isn't as good. Another way that we can add filler words, besides the single ones, and that list I gave before is by no means complete, is sometimes we'll add words that are obvious. For instance, we'll say, we shook with our hands, or we shook hands, or things like that. And we don't think about it, but really, how else are we going to shake? The two people shook. Now, you might think, well, we could shimmy shake, but really, if you're talking about meeting and they shook hands, it's kind of obvious what they're shaking. Or, Donovan yawned widely with his mouth. You might think this sounds strange now, but you'll find that you might write it because you're just thinking about making the scene as descriptive as possible. And this is how you make it descriptive as possible. He yawned with his mouth. And then somebody else will read it later and say, well, of course he yawned with his mouth. What else is he going to yawn with? His ears? And so my editor, they are amazing at finding this. And that's usually how they tell me I've added extra words. They'll ask me questions like, really? Or with their mouth? They didn't yawn with their nose or their feet? And so you need to find somebody who can point these things out humorously. It makes the editing process a lot nicer. So filler words are words that bog down your writing, and when you can find them and clean them up, your writing is just more concise and efficient and nicer to read and more exciting. And we want our books to be exciting. All right, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.